Welcome to episode 2 of the Mark Jackson Show. I am Mark Jackson. This is my incredible dynamic co-host, Mark Jackson II, affectionately known as Blue. I've been doing some thinking, and I got to tell you, outstanding job in episode 1. But you are still a rookie, my friend.
It's okay. You got a Rookie of the Year trophy. Can I get one too?
It depends. I didn't get it on one game or one day.
That's all right.
I like glazed donuts, and I like my coffee light and sweet.
That'll give me the Rookie of the Year trophy?
That'll get you on the way.
All right, that's okay. I mean, I'm trying my best. I felt like for our first episode, I was doing my best Mike Breen impression. I was here, and I bounced off of you. I'm just trying to, I'm trying to fit in where I could get in,
I'm going to give you a secret. Don't try to be Mike Breen. Jeff and I carried him.
Oh, that's the secret? That's the truth? Oh, don't say that too loud.
That's not the truth.
Don't say that
that's
too
loud.
That's not the truth.
Man.
That's a legend.
He's a legend and the GOAT. My question to you, though, episode 1 in the books, you have any second thoughts?
No, not at all, man. I enjoyed it so much. I relish the moment of speaking to you and chopping it up like we do. It feels like home.
Good. Let's dive into episode 2 then.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Mike Breen, can we give a second for our sponsors?
Absolutely. Got to pay the bills.
That's wonderful. We are brought to you by the great folks at Underdog Fantasy. And you should click on the link in the description below and use the promo code MARK. That's MARK. Make a deposit of up to $100 and Underdog Fantasy will match it. That was my best Mike Breen voice right there.
That was good.
Thank you. Speaking of that time in your career, can you give me some stories maybe from your broadcasting days?
Oh, wow. I got a million funny ones. Off the top, I would say hilarious one, NBA Finals, Lakers, Celtics in Boston. Forgot which game it was. Mike Breen and Jeff Van Gundy and I decide day off in between games. Boston Red Sox playing, why not just go to a game? It's freezing. We go to see the Boston Red Sox. John Lester is pitching. Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, and myself sitting in the front row right by the dugout of the Red Sox. John Lester pitches a no-hitter. We witness a no-hitter. And in the 8th inning, Mike Breen is like, it's kind of cold. It's kind of cold. You guys ready to head back? Jeff and I are like, head back? Who leaves in a no-hitter? Who leaves when we're watching a no-hitter? So we stayed. But the funniest part of it, we were leaving the hotel, and Jeff didn't have a jacket. So Jeff watched John Lester's no-hitter with the bellman from the hotel's long overcoat on. So there's pictures and video of us with nice gear on, and Jeff has the bellman. Only thing he needed was the top hat.
That's crazy.
Only Jeff Van Gundy. So
that's hilarious.
We witnessed a no-hitter, though.
That's awesome. I think one of the things that I enjoy seeing behind the scenes is just the mentality difference between you, Coach Jeff, and Mike. Y'all are all amazing. But there's something about Mr. Breen that he has that Kobe mentality where I remember one time after, I forget which game, I think it was the Heat Finals, he spoke about it recently and said that he was bothered by something, that he was off his game. And I recall like it was yesterday, after the game, getting in the van with you guys, and you and Coach Jeff were having a blast in the back, and Mike Breen was in the front, steamed for the whole ride. Like, he couldn't let go of that fact. I just think it's interesting for somebody to have that type of mentality when he's not competing per se, but that was awesome to just see that dynamic firsthand.
Oh, it shows you the difference. Jeff grew up, he would say as a player, I would say as a coach's son and as a coach. I grew up as a player with the edge and the mentality. So our mentality finishing the game is not like we won or lost. We won by having an opportunity to having the platform and call a game. Mike, he went to school for this. He lived and this was his dream. So he takes it home with him, but that's why he's the GOAT.
Yeah, he is. Fans, we want to interact with you. So please write your questions for me and my dad below in the comments, and we'll answer them in a future show. You've got so many stories to tell, and so do I. So I want to introduce this great segment called Blue Wants to Know. I got questions. You got answers. I got answers. Y'all got questions. So starting it off, can I start it off with just us today? Since
Absolutely.
We don't have,
Go ahead.
Julius Randle. He's got a shoulder injury. It's possible that he'll be done for the rest of the season. He's contemplating surgery. Where do you see the Knicks landing in this playoff picture or this contender picture?
Well, they're a different team with a healthy Julius Randle. His presence, he takes pressure off of Jalen Brunson to be special every single, not just night, but possession. He carries them offensively. He relieves some of that stress from Brunson having to carry them offensively. He's a guy that can score and score in bunches. So they certainly are a different team, not having that second guy on the offensive end that can take over the game. But the thing I love about that team, they play extremely hard. They shoot the basketball. They improve during the trade deadline, and they defend at a high level. Great competitive spirit, and obviously well coached. They have a chance, but I like their chances better with a healthy Julius Randle, obviously.
Do you think that they have a chance if Julius Randle is done today? You see them as a legit contender still?
I see them with the ability to advance in the playoffs. I don't see them as a championship team, but I like their mentality. I like their edge. I like their competitive spirit, which gives you a chance, especially in today's game.
How safe is it to say that the Milwaukee Bucks are the team to beat in the East?
It's not safe. It's not safe. We're not going to sugarcoat anything here. The team to beat in the Eastern Conference today, as we speak, is the Boston Celtics. That's not saying that they're going to win it, but they're the team to beat. And the reason why is because they have an identity. They have a style. We know what to expect every time we turn the channel on and see the Boston Celtics. It's going to be Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. It's going to be a bunch of threes. It's going to be defense from that backcourt and Derek White and Drew Holiday. It's going to be Porzingis, if he's healthy, posting and shooting threes. It's going to be Al Horford's presence defensively. They are a tough-minded team that's well-coached, and they've been consistent, dominant at home. So they are the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. But like I said before, it is wide open, and the styles will make fights, who they match up with and who comes out of the East and the West.
I think that's interesting to think about, that styles make fights, because I could definitely see the Bucks don't want to see like the Pacers in the first round. I could see them having trouble with them. So a team like that is a kryptonite to a team with these veterans and players that are looking like we're not trying to run against these dudes for 7 games straight.
And we've seen, in this league I'm not scared of you. The Indiana Pacers have had success against the Milwaukee Bucks. They're not afraid of the superstars. They're proven with the ability to score on them, defend them, and then play with an edge and beat them, whether it be in Indiana or in Milwaukee.
I know we spoke about this off camera a little bit about Giannis's comments over All-Star Weekend. I watched the clip, and it actually was made in a joking manner when he said that he doesn't watch, I guess, the games or the film. I need him to watch the Pacers, man. When the Pacers play at night, I need Giannis to watch the Pacers because they have their number, and he needs to figure something out.
That's cute. You dumbing it down. I need him to watch basketball.
Yeah, I need him to watch basketball.
I need him to watch the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Prepare himself so there's no surprises come playoff time, night in and night out.
Well, it's a good thing we went and got Pat Beverly.
Can I get a timeout? Did you say we?
Huh?
Did you say we? I didn't know you was French.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, well, what are we doing? That's your team now?
No. That's not my team.
So why did you say we?
I'm just saying. I'm just speaking. It's teamwork everywhere I go.
Okay,
I can't diminish it.
Okay.
Right now, looking at Luca Donic, he's been cooking. Amazing player. Some people say he's the best player in the league. Where do you place him in your top players?
When you're dealing with the top players in the world, you cannot rattle off names and not name Luca Donic. His ability to create on the offensive end. And here's the thing I got a problem with what people say. He doesn't make guys around him better. That is absolutely foolish to me. I have not met a superstar that does not make guys around him better. By the mere presence on the court, you're making me better. If Patrick Ewing's not the passer that, Bill Walton was, but he made me better because the double team. You had to double team him, which gave me more airspace and more freedom to roam and create on the offensive end. Luka Doncic gives a diving 5, a pick and roll 5, the ability to finish at the rim. He gives Tim Hardaway opportunity to shoot spot-up threes. He gives Kyrie Irving opportunity to dance. Just by his presence on the floor, he makes guys around him better. And quite honestly, superstars make coaches better. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, they made me a better coach. You making me a better host. You like that? I see you bring it home. All right.
I do like that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Who does Luka remind you of?
2 people, a mixture of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. 6'7", 6'8", could shoot the lights out of the basketball, can also pass, has tremendous size, strength, doesn't get, sped up, plays to his own music. You got to make sure he sees bodies, and you got to be physical with him. And then you got to trap him at times and make him uncomfortable. At some point, you got to say, this guy is not going to be the guy to beat me. If I'm going home, if I'm going on vacation, if I'm losing in the playoff, it's not going to be because of him. And it makes it tough because he's got another guy alongside of him, and Kyrie, that you got to then say, it's not going to be him neither. Yeah. It's got to be somebody else. But you got to be committed to him at all points.
The only player that I would say I've seen do these Luka-type things is LeBron James. And I say that in a way of orchestrating play-by-play with the ball in your hands. It's constantly the Luka show. And when LeBron was on Cleveland, I watched him do the same thing. And that would be the comparison that I draw. Aside from, of course, Luka can go get you. It's a different level with the scoring.
I love when I trap you, though, because I got another guy that I want to throw in there, and you will agree.
Let's see.
James Harden.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Okay, I see.
He does have some James. Yeah, nah, that step back. You're right. He does have some James Harden in his game.
But you're right, though. The way he controls everything on the offensive end at all times with the rock in his hands.
Curveball. How much money would you get if the NIL was giving money out when you played for St. John's?
Wow. I don't know. But we were very successful. We went to the Final Four. We won the Big East Championship. We had great teams. It'd be a lot of money given. But I will say this on another note. I believe then, and I wholeheartedly believe obviously now, that these college athletes should be paid. And there should be no bickering and no noise about how much they're making. I got a point. This camera right here, I got to say this. For you coaches out there that's bickering and saying enough of the players making money, where you been for 100 years? It's been okay when it was in your pocket. Now all of a sudden, I remember as a kid in college, my college coach, because he decided to follow the rules, could not give me a sandwich because it was against the rules. Shame on you coaches who think it's not right for the players to get paid. You've been living good. Now let them eat.
Fair point. You probably have some great stories from the St. John's days. Can you share some?
I got a great story from St. John's. My junior year, fresh off of Chris Mullin winning the Wooden Award for Player of the Year. So I believe St. John's is the only team that had back-to-back different people win Player of the Year. So my junior year, we have Walter Berry, who wins the Player of the Year Wooden Award. So probably 5 games into my junior year, we're playing on the road. Walter Berry has scored double figures in a bunch of straight games. He's a guy that knows how many points he has at all times. So we're down, like you. We're down about 15, 20 points. We make a run. We get back in. We finally take the lead with seconds left. And now all we have to do is get the ball in bounds. They foul and we win. But Walt only has 8 points. So I see Walt go up to the guy taking the ball out of bounds and tell him, throw the long one to me so I can get a layup. So I see it, and I go to the guy like, no, get the ball in bounds to whoever's open. Let's get out of here with a win. After the game, we win. Walt comes up to me, and he wants to fight me in the locker room.
He wanted to fight you?
Wants to fight me because he didn't get the 10 points. Now, Walter Berry lives in Atlanta, happily married. I'm proud of him. We're great. But from that point on, the 5th game of the season, the lead point guard who broke the assist record for all time in the history of college basketball, my junior year, throwing the basketball to the Player of the Year in Walter Berry, we did not speak. This just in. Never said it before. We did not speak. From the 5th game to the last game, all the lobs, all the behind-the-back passes, you will never see us dapping each other. You'll never see us smiling, pointing the finger. We did not speak because of that encounter. And he's a guy that we laugh about it today, and he's had a great career. But the guy that won the Wooden Award and me breaking the record in assists had no communications at all.
That's unbelievable.
That's
unbelievable. I'm curious, how common is that? I know I hear a lot of the players talk about this is a job for me, this is a career. How common is it for in the NBA for players to not really rock with each other and not hang out on the off time?
It's common. I mean, it's because it's life, and there's some guys that It's just not your cup of tea. And I can remember some great teams that I played for and great teams that I played against. Some guys didn't speak. Some guys didn't hang around each other. But if you are committed to in between those lines, doing whatever it takes to put us in position to win, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And I can remember we'd win a game and be in the club 2 hours later and wouldn't say a word to each other. It was hilarious. We laugh at it now, but it was hilarious. But it says a lot about the professionalism of him and I and a willingness to put the team first.
So when you were growing up playing in Queens, I know it wasn't the greatest area. How did you cope with the money games that go down in the city?
Wow. First of all, I grew up in Brooklyn and Queens, so shout out. And
did I catch you off guard with that one?
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did. This dude said the money games.
The money games.
I was fortunate enough to have an incredible mom and dad that taught me and instilled principles in me that nothing is for free. So I made a commitment, and my dad there's no way in the world I'd be able to come home with a handful of money and say I got it from some dirty hands because I scored a couple of points. So never took any money, played in games, obviously, won games, made plays, but didn't believe in taking dirty money from folks that was living a life that I didn't believe in. That's nothing against some guys that did because they needed it. And they benefited from it, but that's not how I decided to get down.
I got a controversial question for you.
Another one?
Another one.
Who you, DJ Khaled?
I got something today. Five boroughs in New York. What's the toughest place to go to get a win?
That is a tough question. And I'm probably the only guy that can claim Brooklyn and Queens. I don't know. I say all over New York City. I won this award, and the next day I was back in my park, O'Connell Park in St. Albans, Queens, shout out, playing at 3:30 in the afternoon on the concrete, pickup ball, getting after it, preparing for the following game. I wasn't in a gym with my teammates. I was in the park on the concrete playing pickup ball with my friends. New York City, I can remember going to Foster Park when I was about 7 years old in Brooklyn and sitting on the fence, watching my older brother Kevin playing with World Be Free and playing with Bernard King and Albert King and my cousin Anthony and great players. And I'm like, this is off the charts. You couldn't tell me that wasn't Madison Square Garden. I mean, these guys was incredible. I'm like, I had no dream of being an NBA player because it wasn't realistic. I'm watching dudes jump out the building, shoot shots. I'm like, this is amazing. So I think all throughout New York City, to its credit, there are legendary pickup games and pickup run in every borough. Well, that was politically correct.
That was good.
I covered my bases.
Nice.
I still can go everywhere.
I think it's just different on the West Coast. I think you probably realize this too, as far as just that street ball culture. I remember being at Manhattan College when I played there, and they were saying, God is playing at Dykeman today. And I'm like, God is playing at Dykeman. Like, God is there. I'm like, who are you talking about? They're like, Kim God. I'm like, Kim God? Kemba Walker? They're like, yeah, God is at Dykeman. I'm like, why are you calling this dude God? They're like, come watch the game. I came that night. That dude torched everybody. And like you said, kids hanging from the fences. It's people on the side. It's people dancing. It's just a movie.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing that has been embraced, and other places has copied it, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But he wasn't God, though, right?
No.
Okay.
He was far from God. Far from God. He had some game, though. Still got game. But that's why it threw me off so much. They're like, go see God. I'm like, we going to church? Did you play any other sports growing up?
Did I?
What up?
This is a funny story. Like Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen, our producer Tim Corrigan, Lisa Salters, they'd always argue with me. My first sport was baseball. My first sport. I was a shortstop for the Royals, white and blue jerseys. Man, if somebody had a line shot, my mother screamed. This is the funny part. I had a softball glove because we couldn't afford a hardball glove. So I put my hand in front of my face, caught it. My pop's like, that's my boy. My mom got a tear in her eye. My hand is steaming. because the line shot hit my hand. So I was a natural. And my dad was a baseball player and would have been a professional baseball player had they allowed African Americans to play Major League Baseball at the time. He was that great of a baseball player. So it was the first sport that I fell in love with. And Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen, and Lisa Salters and Tim Corrigan, they used to argue. Because I believe you find an average pitcher, don't go get Garrett Cole or anybody, like get an average pitcher today, let him throw me 10 pitches, give me 10 swings. So if it's not a strike, I don't swing. Give me 10 swings, they believe I'm not putting any in play.
How many you putting in play?
If I put one in play, I win.
But how many?
You've seen my work.
I want to know how many you think you put in play.
Okay, for argument's sake, one. Can I put one in play? It don't have to be over the fence. Don't have to be in the gap. Can I put one in fair territory?
Today?
Yes. You've seen my work. Let me give you a hint. Hold on. Look at me. Let me give you a hint.
Relax. Relax, man. I've seen the stats before. You could get one, I think. It depends on the day, though, because the Achilles, you coming fresh off an injury.
I'm playing. You've seen my work. You know how you've seen it.
It was softball, though. You talking about you was in a softball game.
Oh,
I haven't seen your work recently.
So I was a baseball player for the Royals, and loved the game. Now I'm tired of answering your question. How about I ask you some questions?
Oh man, what questions
Are
you
you
got
ready?
for me?
You need a sip of
No,
water?
I'm not ready. Hold on.
You need a sip of water for the
what questions? Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Just basic. No, this ain't. I'm not putting you on the spot. I just got some questions for you. First question: you were raised in a family where your dad played professional basketball for 17 years. You went to games with me. At any point, was there any player that you said, I want to meet that guy at the game, or I'm looking forward to this game on this date because I want to meet that guy? Is there any player that separated themselves that you appreciated their art more than others?
Allen Iverson. Anytime that you had to play against AI or he came in town, first off, he was out of this world just for a young dude looking and just seeing him, how he would come to the games, how he would play. I was already just like, man, I love AI. But then actually being able to meet him with you, ever since the first time I met him, I had to be like 7, 8 years old. He showed the most love. He was the realest dude. He pulled me to the side, talked to me. He'd be happy to see me in the back. He'd give me input with different things. Over the years that you played, he was always one of my favorites to see because he was always so genuine and real. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. It's been so many people that have impacted me over the years. That's just one. Of course, Uncle Reggie, he's poured into me. He's done so much for me just as a young man. It's hard to just pinpoint one person. I feel like I'm selling people short.
Uncle Reggie is Reggie Miller, by the way, just so that those of you that didn't know, but a family member, a friend, a brother for life, and a teammate that was a superstar truly on and off the floor.
Back to AI. I don't know if you saw recently, he said that he would average 43 points a game if he played today. What you think about that?
No doubt. I played against him, not only regular season, but we played against him at least 3 times in the playoffs. Can flat out score and put so much pressure on your defense. I remember we played him 3 times in the playoffs. He's the shooting guard. Eric Snow was the point guard. We going over the scouting report, and our coach says, Jack, meaning me, you got Allen Iverson. I'm like, Reggie's the 2. Why don't Reggie have him? Why are you putting me on him? This guy is as good a scorer as this league has ever seen, and without a doubt, he'd get 43. And the only reason I'd say he probably wouldn't get 43 today is because he retired. It's not because the shape he's in today. But you take him back, the Allen Iverson that I played against, and put him in today's game, without a doubt, he's getting 40 plus.
He's averaging 40 plus?
Without a doubt. You can't touch him. You can't put hands on him, so you can't defend him. The way we tried to defend him was beat him up, whether it's man-to-man, the guy on him, or the guy he's running through the paint. You put a body on him. You can't do that anymore. So you don't have the ability. They've stripped the ability from you to defend him the best possible way to limit the damage that he does. 40 plus, without a doubt.
Did he ever give you 40 plus?
Yes, there's no shame in my game.
I
But guess what? The 3 times he went to the Bahamas. He was on vacation.
You
3
sent
times.
him?
I didn't say me, my team. We sent Indiana Pacers,
You got to
beat the
stand on
Philadelphia.
business. You sent him.
No, don't do that.
all right.
You
It's all right. What
you
you
get
mean?
Allen Iverson mad at me.
What
No,
you mean?
I tell you. But just the funny thing is, we talked about in episode 1, we had to get Russell Westbrook's back, and how people unfairly criticized him. Think about how we talk about Allen Iverson, how we thought he was some different type of dude. When he's a loving, respectful, appreciative, just professional type of guy that's passionate about life, passionate about basketball, and conducts himself in a way where a young kid would remember the impact that he had all these years later. Salute to the guys that's getting a bad rep. It's more particular salute to Russell Westbrook and Allen Iverson. Back to you, my friend. Good try. Is there any point where you felt more pressure on a basketball floor because you was my son, the son of a professional athlete?
Every time I stepped on the court. Anytime that I came in the gym, the mentality of every other kid was, I'm going to get my name because that's Mark Jackson's son. So I'm going to cook him, or I'm gonna go at him. It was every time. I would say the peak of that I felt, just the pressure of wearing the name, was the first time I ran out at University of Louisville. And I had Jackson. You know me since I was little. I got heart. I love who my dad is. I've never hid it. I'm also a humble person, so I don't throw it in everybody's face. But when I put that Jackson on my back and I put that number 13, and I looked at the coaches, they were like, "You sure you want number 13?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want number 13. Like, I don't care about nothing." And I walked out and I saw them 20,000, 25,000 people in the Yum Center, and it just made my heart beat fast. That was one of the first times I'm like, dang, it overwhelmed me. And it up until the end, it never really got normal for me playing in front of that many people. It was jarring. Mm-hmm. It was jarring.
Do me a favor, because this is going to be different than any show that people are going to watch or listen to. You can't experience this anywhere else. There's some kid out there right now that's a child of a professional athlete or famous person, and they may be riding high or struggling. Talk to them from your experience, how they can overcome it.
Give me this camera. I would say there's power in expectation for positive and negative. So don't discount yourself just because somebody has an expectation that you won't live up to a certain standard. For me, it was, I would never be Mark Jackson. I would never be an NBA player. I would never be whatever, nameless things. For you, it may be, you'll never graduate college. You'll never be successful. You'll keep your generational curses going. But everybody has something that you have to defeat yourself. And part of it has to be a humility that comes into play. Part of it has to be a thing that says, life is bigger than just me. And that's something that I had to go through and I had to understand. I victimized myself for a long time because I was like, man, life is hard as Mark Jackson's son. And people would say, how? You grew up with everything. And I did. You're the best father. At the same time, if I didn't have the foundation of the Lord has my back, and I'm okay with knowing that I was made special. I was made in his image, and he has a plan for me. That's outside of my control. That's not in your control. That's not in anybody else's control. I'm sorry to be long-winded, but I guess I would just say be encouraged in spite of whatever your circumstances are, in spite of whatever you're going through, in spite of whatever expectations somebody has put on you, in spite of your failures. Your next success is right around the corner. Your next opportunity is right around the corner. So hold on to your joy, because that's my personal strength, is my joy. I wear a smile. I go into every situation with a optimistic point of view, because I feel like it's going to work out in my favor, because that was the promise that God gave me.
That's awesome. You just helped somebody. Absolutely just helped somebody. I guess my next question, What was the toughest part about playing for Coach Rick Pitino? I played for him. Best coach I ever played for. You played for him in college. What was the toughest part about playing for him?
You grilling me right now, man. What's going on? I would say the toughest part playing for him was the assistant coaches, man. Having 5 mini Coach Pitinos. Everybody wanted to emulate the success of how great he was. So when we speak about how amazing of a coach he was, it's true. He was empathetic. He was mindful of his players. He was a great coach. But there were times when he wasn't around or he didn't come to the gym that them assistant coaches was like, I'm Rick Pitino today. This is my chance.
I thought you was going to say I'm Rick James.
About to stand on his couch. No, that was their opportunity. That was one thing that it used to irritate me so bad because they wouldn't do it when he was there. And as soon as it was an empty gym, they'd walk in like they own the place.
Yeah.
And that was difficult for me because it was my first experience in life of these coaches being like, I love you. I'm going to look out for you. I'm going to take care of you. Whatever you need, I'm here for you. And I got to campus and it was a switch that the promises that were kept weren't kept. And that's the story of a lot of people. But yeah, them assistant coaches was monsters.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I watched some video lately of Jalen Brunson as a kid working out in the park with his dad, my former teammate, Rick Brunson, who played in the NBA for so long and now is an assistant coach with the New York Knicks, coaching his son. But I watched the video of him drilling his son, showing him different ways to dribble, different ways to shoot, working him out, being tough on him. And I had a question. Could I have done a better job with you? I failed you, man.
Nah, man.
One time he took the ball and was like, no, do it again and threw it against the wall. I don't have that in my game. I don't have that in my game. I should have done that.
Do you remember when we left that tournament? And so for the audience, I was playing when I was younger, and there was a teammate of mine, and his dad used to scream at him and be like, get it together, da-da-da-da, yell at him. And I remember after the game, that's just not my pop's personality. I remember after the game, I was like, why can't you talk to me like Luke's dad?
I do remember that. I
was like, why don't you yell at me like that? I'm like, you don't care? He was like, I care about you, son. That's why I don't yell at you.
This dude said, why don't you scream and yell at me and go crazy? I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh man, that was a great decision that you made.
But think about how I watched that video of Jalen and his dad Rick, and it truly is inspiring because you can take a bow. Mission accomplished, and he did the job, and he did it in a way with a mixture of toughness and also love. And I'm joking, could I have done better, or could you have done better? But at the end of the day, you can't help but to get inspired by watching a father and son's relationship, yeah, and a successful one.
And I would say to that point, in a more serious note, of course you didn't fail. I reached levels that most people don't reach in the game of basketball. But scratch everything that basketball is, I wouldn't compare that video of Jalen Brunson and his dad to our relationship because you didn't make me an NBA level basketball player, but you made me an NBA level man.
Man, you just preached.
Ooh,
I'm getting goosebumps.
Things, no, for real.
I'm for real.
For real. It's certain things that you instilled in me that maybe you could have drilled in me to hit my in and out with a little more sauce on it. But it's more valuable to my life for you to tell me, hey, your principles are valuable. For you to walk a walk and talk a talk. And for me to watch and be like, you know what, this is how I need to be a man. And it's helped me in my life, in my career, my child, my relationships, my friendships. I value myself in the core at whatever level you would see anybody else at.
Man.
So I just appreciate you as a father and everything that you've done.
Oh,
and don't let I said, why you ask that question? Now you ask that question, man.
I don't know.
Who wrote that?
That's freestyle. It's off the top.
Who wrote that question?
It's off the top, man.
I
I appreciate you, and you make a valid point because winning is winning. And it's not about NBA, it's who you are as a person. And I couldn't be more proud of who you are and who you turn out to be, and the father, the son, the friend, the person, the man that you are and you've become. So that's what it's all about.
All right. Can we do a picture time on a lighter note?
You asking or telling? I get a feeling you're telling me. Yeah,
Ooh,
sure.
We got to do a picture time. Just ease it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I feel like I
that was
got
good
deep
one.
just now.
It helps
All right,
somebody.
it's
It
tight.
helps
It's
somebody.
tight. All right. Picture time. We're going to take an old photo of yours, have you break it down for the fans. Today, we got a 2-for-1. LL Cool J, like you, from the same neighborhood, St. Albans, Queens. I know you were born in Brooklyn also. Same swag. I need 2 stories here.
Well, one picture in a suit and tie is at an NBA playoff game in Boston, where I'm with the legend LL Cool J. From the same neighborhood, grew up together in Queens. Really exploded on the scene pretty much around the same time. Nothing but love, respect, appreciation, and admiration for him. And this is just 2 guys that realized we had a playoff game and how awesome it is and how far we've come. And then we had to take a picture to document it. And nothing but love on the Boston Garden in a playoff game, 2 guys, as LL would say, from Hollis to Hollywood. So proud moment. The second picture is, I believe that's from the charity game that we would hold for the United Negro College Fund. And I said everybody, in episode 1, we showed Mike Tyson. Well, this is now LL Cool J at the same event. Again, legends taking their time to support and impact the future. So he came to the event, we took pictures, we smiled. And one thing about LL Cool J, every year, the park we grew up in called O'Connell Park in St. Albans, Queens, he has an event for charity, raising money for the area and for kids back to school. He does an incredible job. So I got a lot of love and respect for LL, and that's just 2 dudes, 2 GOAT rappers, just, having a freestyle battle.
I got a funny LL
You gonna ignore
story.
that?
Huh?
I said 2 GOAT rappers, just we fresh
Yeah, I
off
gotta
a
ignore
freestyle
that.
battle.
I gotta ignore that. I can't.
When
I
I'm
heard
alone in
you.
my room, sometimes I stare at the wall.
And in the back of what?
Back of my mind, man, my conscience, come on, man.
Nah, that's a legend, man. That's a legend. We gotta give L some love for a second. I actually was in a session with LL, and it was crazy because when I first walked in the session, Troy Ave, it was in New York City. Troy Ave was working, and it was just like, it was shocking because I'm like, I expected Troy Ave, but I didn't expect LL. So when LL walked in and he just set the whole mood and shifted it, and he showed so much love, man. It's impactful when you see people that reach that level of height still have humility.
You're right.
Let's do a fantasy promo.
Absolutely.
A reminder of our great partners at Underdog Fantasy. Click on the link in the description below to participate in their great fantasy sports games and put in that promo code MARK, that's MARK, to get up to $100 matched.
That's a wrap for episode 2 of The Mark Jackson Show. I'm Mark Jackson, co-host Mark Jackson II, Blue. I want to thank you for listening and watching. Again, a special thank you to our partners, Cam and Mace. Make sure you watch it on the Come and Talk to Me YouTube channel. Blessings.